stop, just 1 minute, because we're going to talk about the world and how to make it a better place. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to talk about an organization called Rotary International. And you might be thinking, Grant, isn't Rotary International that group of old people that gets together and eat together? No, it's a lot more than that. It's an awesome organization that makes the world, in general, just a much better place. And yeah, sometimes they do eat old people. I mean, they eat with old people. But these are some pretty freaking awesome old people. For example, this map of all the countries that have had a reported case of polio doesn't look like this map 20 years ago. They freaking cured polio like 99%. And you can thank them because polio like really sucks. And if you don't know what polio is because you're a teenager, this is what it looks like. Look how much that sucks. They also had a really big part in accomplishing the UN Development Goals, which is a really big deal because that makes the whole planet a better place. And the UN Development Goals are like a really awesome thing because like nobody likes kids dying of AIDS and malaria and war and no food and no water. I mean, there's never really been a pro-AIDS party or a pro-kids dying party. And if there was an exact opposite of that, it would definitely be the Rotarians, because they've done a really good job at making sure those things don't happen. Rotary International has been one of the forefront groups of people that are fighting the world's suckiness. But right now, this world is not solved, and there's currently a lot of other things that are very sucky, and then we still have work to do. But the awesome thing about Rotary International, it's a voluntary organization that anybody can be a part of. Now, Rotary is a little bit worried about their legacy, the next generation of people to fight world suckiness. And this is because their average member, and I don't want to call them old because they'll yell at me, but let's just say very experienced. And eventually, they're going to die. And we need to, continue to have Rotarians. So it's up to us, young people, to make sure that we are there to pick up the reins. And one of the best ways to do this, you're asking? Join Interact! Now what Interact is an extension of Rotary, but for high school students. And if you don't have an Interact club in your area, you need to start one, because they're super important. Essentially what Interact is just another place for the war on world suck. But for teenagers, leading up to be Rotarians. It's like Rotary training. And many of you might be asking the question, Grant, there's not an Interact club at my high school. What do I do? Simple. Start an Interact club. Go find the nearest Rotarian and say, hey, we're gonna start an Interact club. Will you help us? And they'll be like, yes, we need young people. And if there is an Interact club around your area, why haven't you joined it yet? Anyways, once you've joined your Interact club, I'll tell you what exactly it's like. It's a bunch of teenagers who get together and think about how to make the world a better place. Whether it's helping your own community or making giant projects to help people abroad. Now, recently I had the honor to go with my Interact Club to the 2015 DFW Peace Symposium. And essentially what a Peace Symposium is we get together with all the other Interact groups and we have these really interesting speakers talk to us about how to make the world a better place and talk about the UN Development Goals and how what we as students can do to make sure that those goals get accomplished. And I cannot tell you how awesome it is to have old people who are currently helping the world become a better place come to teenagers and be like, hey, we want you to do it too. I mean, just the speakers we had come to talk to us were awesome. We had this really awesome guy from Liberia come to tell us how we could be involved in helping his schools. We had Crutches for Africa come and talk to us, an organization that is solely dedicated into getting mobility devices to people in Africa that have mobility problems. Whether it be the fact that they had polio, limbs cut off, mines, war, just genuinely suckiness. And realize that without mobility devices, they cannot have normal lives because they have to crawl around on the ground. That's horrible. And even the man that started and runs this organization has polio himself. So he himself, in crutches, is walking around Africa giving other people crutches. How awesome is that? We had a lifetime Rotarian that was just back from Pakistan, dressed as a Pakistani, come and tell us how important it is that we finally finish polio. And back to that chart that I showed you earlier, these countries still have polio in them. And after we got to listen to all these people talk, they did another amazing thing. They gave us food, and I love food. So think about it this way, if you join your local Interact club, you get 1, free food. 2, you make the world a better place. I don't need to name more things, because these 2 things conjoined together are like the best things.